Welcome to day 5 of the challenge. We're on day 5. Congratulations. We're nearing the end of week 1. We're getting closer and closer to that finish line. Keep our eye on the prize, eye on the goal. Let's do it. All right, today's video is all about the tools you'll need to do this properly, to run a great production and have a great automated webinar system. Now, some of these tools you might already have, that's great, but the ones you don't, your homework today will be to make sure you order these items. A lot of these are really affordable. We have links right on today's page, on today's course or video page, so you can know exactly where to buy them. Easy link right there, and we've sourced the best price possible. All right, let's talk about the tools you need to have for the system. Tool number 1 is WebinarNinja. You already have it. You have your 30-day trial. You've already contacted support and made sure that they got extended, and you're good to go. You need this webinar system so you'll be able to run and create your registration pages, your automated emails, your notifications, to run the actual video. All that stuff is all taken care of under one roof with WebinarNinja, so you're taken care of with that. You need your system. What's the next thing you need? Well, the next most important thing you'll need is a microphone. You need a really good microphone to make sure your audio quality is great. Interestingly enough, that your audio, your mic, is actually more important than anything else. Actually more important than your camera, because you can kind of get away with 720 quality, not 4K quality, and people are okay with that. But it's hard to ignore bad audio. So I recommend the Audio-Technica 2100. This is the mic I'm using right now. This is a USB mic, plugs right into your computer, and it's super simple, super reliable, and the quality of the audio is fantastic, as you can hear, right? So I highly recommend you check that out. I also recommend a boom arm. This is the arm I'm using right here to keep this mic close to my mouth so I don't have to bend down close to the desk. I'm actually standing right now on my standing desk, so it makes it super simple, okay? So boom arm along with the mic, we have links. The boom arm is about $10, $15. The mic's around $70. It might be cheaper, might be more, depending on when you click on that link. What else do you need? Well, it might sound obvious, but you're going to need a computer, a laptop or a desktop computer. We highly recommend you use a computer because it's just going to be easier for you to use all these aspects, record your actual webinar that you're going to be using for the automated webinar, the video itself. All that stuff is going to be so much easier off a laptop or a computer. Technically, you can pull this off with a tablet or even a mobile device, but I highly recommend that you use a computer because it's going to be easier, faster, and the quality is going to be better when you render these videos. The next is a webcam, a camera. Now, the camera is actually optional because you can run a webinar with no camera. You can just have slides, and we'll talk about just sharing your screen or just uploading slides and using your slides as your visual while you have your audio, you speaking over the audio, teaching over the audio. This is an option. But I recommend showing your face on your automated webinar, even if it's just at the start and at the end, because it adds a level of trust, it adds that rapport, and this is my recommendation. I highly recommend you show your face with your camera. Listen, it's awesome to be transparent. People like to know who's behind the business, who's behind the camera. It's going to really reap its benefits over and over with your automated webinar. Now, which camera do I recommend? Well, I recommend the Logitech C920. This is a good all-around camera. Okay, there are other cameras that I'll recommend under in the page. So if you want to go with a little more cost-effective one that is not full HD, but it's 720 and it's just as good. But if you want a all-around good lens, I would go with the C920 Logitech. If you want to go super pro, this is the camera I'm using right now. I'll show you. It's called the Brio, the Logitech Brio. I have the box right here, actually. Here it is. It's the Logitech Brio, and it's actually a 4K camera. It's wide angle. It's really, really a great camera. And it is about double. It's about $150 or so. It might be cheaper these days. When I bought it, it was about $150. But it's fantastic. It's really, really good. If you want the best, I would go with this is the best webcam for your money on the market. And I'll link up to it on the page as well. What else? Lighting. Lighting is super important if you're going to be on camera, and I highly recommend you get a ring light. We have a link to a fantastic ring light. This is the ring light I'm using right now. It's bright enough, it's not too bright. It has different levels. It's USB, so you can plug it into any USB port or power with USB plug. and it will power your lighting, and you'll have great even lighting in front of your camera. This is super important. If you're on camera, lighting is half the battle. So I highly recommend you check that out with the link on the page. The last thing is optional, and it depends on how you're going to record your automated webinar video. Now, there are going to be several options. The easiest, fastest option that you can do is you can run a test live webinar, like just a private live webinar inside of WebinarNinja. We're going to get to the stage. I'll walk you right through it, show you exactly what your options are, but you can just record it right through WebinarNinja. You can run a live webinar and then download the recording, or use that recording right inside of WebinarNinja as your option, as your video source for your automated webinar. So you're running a live webinar, and then you take that recording from that live webinar and you use it for your next automated webinar. Live webinar, you don't have to have attendees, you don't have to have anything. It could be just you and the camera doing your automated webinar. This is the easiest, fastest way to do it, and you can just run with it, and you don't really need to edit it. Now, if you do want to edit your video, if you do want to record it on your desktop without doing the live webinar option, there are some other options when it comes to video editing software. I have two recommendations. One is Camtasia. Camtasia is a great editing software for both Mac and PC. I have the Mac version because I'm on a Mac, and recently it's really gotten really good. I didn't use Camtasia back in the day. I used to use something called ScreenFlow, but recently Camtasia upped their game. They really improved their software, and it's actually better than ScreenFlow these days. So I use Camtasia on my laptop at times. So that's recommendation number one. I have to say Camtasia is a bit of a heavy program, so if your laptop is not powerful, then you might have to shut down everything else other than Camtasia, because it is a video editing software. It's going to be using a lot of RAM, all that kind of stuff. If you want something lighter, something a little bit more convenient, and you don't need all the bells and whistles, there is a browser-based, a Chrome extension called Soapbox, and this is by the people of Wistia. We'll link up right here on the page where you can find Soapbox. It's one word. And Soapbox is included with any Wistia account. If you have Wistia, if you don't have Wistia, you can purchase Soapbox on an annual basis. And it's a really easy editing software where you can edit videos right from your browser. And then you can download that video and use it inside of WebinarNinja if you wish. So these are the two recommendations I recommend if you want to record your video on your laptop. If you don't want to run that live webinar inside of WebinarNinja and then just use that recording, you can always record it off your laptop. Now, I can go even easier, and this is free options. You can run with QuickTime inside of your Mac computer. If you're on a Mac, QuickTime is absolutely free. It's part of your software. It's installed already, and you can just record a video, and then you can trim the ends and you can trim the beginning. So if you want to trim the ends of the video, you can do that with QuickTime. You can't do some major editing, but Apple also has iMovies included, so you can check that out as well. If you're on Windows, Windows Movie Maker, or any other option that you have on Windows. So this is kind of the options. We're going to list them on the page. I recommend, if you don't want any hassles, you want something easy, I would just run a live webinar inside of WebinarNinja and then use that recording in your automated webinar. You don't have to worry about any kind of editing software, and we're going to go through that process later on in the challenge. If you want to record on your computer and you want something simple on the Mac, you got QuickTime that you can use. Or if you want to invest some money, Camtasia is a great tool, or Soapbox by Wistia. Okay, so your homework for today. You need to order any of the stuff that I mentioned today that you need. I recommend that you do get a webcam because you're going to need it later on for your live webinars. We'll talk about how to incorporate live webinars to get in new automated webinar, registrants, as well as to market and to nurture your current customers, all that kind of stuff. So I recommend you get any of the things here that you don't have already. You need to order them now so that you can get them in time so you can use them later on in the challenge. That's why we have it earlier in the challenge. We record this video early. If you happen to have all the things I mentioned today, great, you are all set. Make sure they all work. Plug them all in, try them all out, set it all up on your desk, your boom arm, your mic, everything, and make sure you're ready because we're hitting the ground running. We're going to make sure that we're going to be using these tools each day as we build our automated webinar system. Okay, you know your homework. Go get it. Make sure you order those things so you have it in time, and I'll see you tomorrow.